Hello builders, parents, and collectors. On this episode of the Creation Evaluation Station, we're going to be evaluating this. And yes, it's just the instruction booklet. We're going to be doing something different. It's an older set I've put together already, so I don't have the box anymore. So we're just going to use this for the box. And it is Thor versus Hulk Arena Clash. This is going to be a little bit different review. I'm still going to make it as in-depth as I can. And for those of you who don't know, or are new to this channel, I do in-depth reviews of models and construction kits, mostly Lego, but other products as well. I also do reviews and discussions of other creative works, such as movies, video games, and animation. So, because they're in-depth reviews, make sure you use the timestamps down below here or in the description to jump around to either your favorite part or to use as bookmarks to come back to at a later date. I don't blame anybody for skipping over the parts. Those are for the hardcore people who really want to see those parts. But yeah, feel free to use those timestamps to jump around. Now, it's definitely an older set. I've still got plenty of newer sets to do. I've been slowly working my way back in time through my backlog, and the reason I'm doing this is the container this is in. I wanted to put more stuff in there, and I'll end up burying this set. So I thought I'd review this first, and a couple others. I have a couple other things along the way. We're going to be working on Marvel and DC sets, mostly Batman, and we'll be going back and forth between the two while doing Ninjago stuff at the same time, because I still got plenty of that stuff to do. So yeah, the details of this is, it is set number 76088 for ages 7 to 14, and yes, this was before they did the just plus. So today it would be a 7+ set. It has 482 pieces. It originally retailed for $59.99. It's no longer available. It was released in June of 2017. So yeah, a little bit on the older side. From my I really enjoyed the movie that this was from. So I'm going to be slightly biased to the set, but I will try to say that, well, my rating system is pretty good at weeding out my biases, both positive and negative. So we'll see how it comes out. We'll go look at the parts here in a moment. We're only going to be looking at the part list in the back of the book and a couple other things before we get to the main review. So let's go do that. Before I get to the parts, I just wanted to show some other things that you got inside the box that I still have. You have this comic book here, which features Thor Ragnarok, but it also features Spider-Man Homecoming. It's half and half, but it's only a couple pages each. Has no real words in it. It's just pictures and a picture comic, and it shows, well, it features most of the sets that came out in that particular wave, whether it be Thor or the Spider-Man Homecoming. There were also stickers that I never applied. Really didn't feel like it needed these. Yeah, I still have them. They will be put back in the book when I'm done with it. So now looking at the parts here, we got one full page here. I don't know when they first started putting parts lists in the back of the books. It's definitely very, very nice. Back in the day they didn't do it, I know that much. I was looking at my Forceman set there and its instructions, and there were none in there, so definitely probably back in the 80s they didn't have these, so they were very convenient, especially if you had missing parts or whatever and you needed to get them replaced. But we are really blessed these days. Here we have most of our figures. Here you'll notice one notable figure missing, and he'll be coming up next. It's just a little bit too big for the picture. But we'll start with these guys. We have a Sicarian warrior. We have the Grandmaster. We've got Loki here and Thor. And I've got some sad news here about Loki. And you can see he's sad too. I am missing the helmet that he's supposed to have. He had both a hairpiece and a helmet to go with this set, and I am missing his iconic helmet. I don't know where it is. I thought maybe I dumped it in my bucket with all my extra parts, which I did dump some of the extra weapons in there too. I found them, but I could not find his helmet. His helmet still might be in there, or I don't know where else it would be. It wasn't in the box where these guys were, and I'm really disappointed and frustrated I can't find it, because it's an important piece. Kind of rare too. But let's get down to what we do have here. Well, we're going to pull off their accessories, but before they do, I did want to recognize Thor's sheath here. His back sheath for his swords is a double one, and I don't remember seeing one like this ever before in like the Ninjago sets. If they had double swords, they cross both ways, not this double going one way. Very interesting. I don't know if it's a completely unique piece. I'm gonna have to look that up here, and might even do that before I get back. Alright, we've got their gear all stripped down. We'll look at their prints, but before I do, just let me talk about this piece here with these dual sheath swords. It's not an entirely unique piece. It was in most of the Ninjago sets during when the Ninjago movie came out, and the regular series that came out right by that, and a couple other sets as well. I either don't have them or have not opened any of them that have these in yet. But what is unique about this is this color. This is the only one that's blue, is the one that Thor has in this set. So that's an interesting thing to note. Now, getting back to the figures overall here, we have some really nice prints on these guys. Now, I don't remember this guy from the movie, but his print on his chest and his face looks amazing. And then we have got the Grandmaster here, and he's got a pretty nice design on him too. Although the thing is, there's no dual printing on here. I don't remember if they weren't doing it then yet or not, but if I remember, he had kind of more of a robe thing, and the things came down to like his knees or whatever. So not perfectly accurate, but they weren't making that stuff at the time, I don't believe. And Loki looks pretty snazzy here. Most of the prints on here are amazing. Very well detailed. Like that. I mean, it's kind of hard to see in the dark because it's dark blue on black, but when you see it in the light and see all the fine lines and everything else, it looks nice. And Thor is pretty sweet here with his armored look that they had him going for. And then you have the print face here where his eyes are lighting up with power. Pretty cool. And we're spinning it around, and he's got a more normal face on this side. And printing, beautiful printing, continues right onto the back. Look at the patterning on the material there for Grandmaster, and that. Now he's only got one-sided head, but then he doesn't have anything covering up the back of his head. He's bald essentially. And look at the printing on the back of that too. That's so nice. But yeah, those are the characters. Well, most characters. We still got the big green guy to go, the Hulk. So stick around a moment for that. So here we have the big guy, and this is definitely a unique figure for this set with his armor on. His accessories are all built. I loved his hammer. The axe is kind of cool too. It's got some really nice, like, graffiti runes or whatever written on his chest there. That's what his back looks like. Nothing too interesting there. Now the head does not rotate, and this helmet is fixed onto him. It's all one piece. So all he's got for motion is his arms that can slash away at, and then his wrists also move. And these also both can be pulled off if you're inclined to do so. But he looks amazing and is really fun. Now, yes, he could use a little bit more articulation, like the waist doesn't turn, nothing in the legs. But the most important thing is your Hulk smash. So, you know, having that swinging arm is good, and the wrist rotation also helps, so you can get some nice poses out of that. Other than that, he's really nice looking figure, and he's fun to play with. Hulk smash. Now, before we get on to the main review, there is one other minifigure accessory I wanted to show off here, and that was this thing. I don't know if it's in too many other sets. This is the only set I've seen it in here, and you see it's got the two studs there, and you're supposed to put minifigure right there. And it's pretty neat what you do with it. Let's get Thor here. Clip him on nice and tight. Sits on nice and tight with that back part there, holds it really tight. And basically, you just have him standing there like that, and then you can go like this and flick him. And he goes pretty far. Probably have to get used to doing it a certain way, practice, and you can like aim him. And this becomes important when you put him in the set, because there's interesting things that you can crash into and break with you know, Hulk and Thor fighting each other. So let's get onto that and check it out. We've got everything put together here, and pardon any beeping in the background. They're plowing out people's driveways right now and stuff, so they got that going on. Sorry about that. I don't have a soundproof studio. So we've got everything here, and this is one of my favorite scenes from the movie, although there were quite a few scenes I liked in the movie, including the first scene with and a lot of the stuff that happens at the end as well. I did enjoy this movie. But yes, this is one of my favorite scenes. I like what they got going here. Now, obviously, the original arena was a lot bigger. This is only a cutout of part of it, with some of the important things, like the Grand Master's seat up there. And that thing was huge. It wasn't just large around. It was also massively high. There were a lot of spectators for that. So, you know, this is just a small snippet of the whole thing. But what they did here was really nice. Now, some of the stickers went alongside these walls here. Don't remember exactly how. But some of the patterning isn't all stickers. It's actually built in, like they have some of this here, like this. And that looks really nice. Now, we've looked at the figures, although we're going to keep them around a little bit because they do some certain things go along with this. Most important thing about this is there's a lot of smashing and bashing and breaking and things. So we'll take things apart here, because all these sections of walls can be torn apart and also rearranged all you want. You can see right here there are clips. Well, these aren't clips on this side. This is a clip-on part. The gray parts there and down there. And then you got the other side. Here's your actual clips. And there's also one down there, but it's attached to that little section of wall. So you got one, two, three, plus the big part, 4, 5 sections you can work with. and set up however you want to. Basically, the instructions kind of show this setup, which I think looks good with the 2 spotlights on both sides. There's a lot of lights, that they had that to brighten up the whole arena. And yeah, so let's start with the smallest chunk over here. We're gonna move Hulk and Thor out of the way. Like, we really don't need them there at all. And we'll pull this guy out here. Well, we might have Hulk a little bit later, but actually we're gonna use him right now. Haha. But a lot of this is designed, even though you're playing here, the things are on the outside. So, you know, the guys are fighting in here, and they smash into walls. Now, yeah, that can break off there, like that, because he crashed right into it. But, and get it back on, there we go. There's also a trigger on the other side, so they're fighting, and say, Thor gets thrown into the wall. Then you can hit this button on the back side, and boom, and the wall breaks apart. And that's that little section of wall. Not very big. It's got a little trigger, and it breaks the bond between the bricks there. So, the fight's heating up, and maybe they lose their weapons, or weapons break, or something like that. And we've got this here. Opens up. Here you go. Choose your weapon. Maybe they've scored a point or something, and they get an extra weapon, and they get to pull some weapons out of here. So you can see they're pretty loose. They just sit into that little Technic piece in there. Nothing too fancy with that section. It's a nice little invisible door, I suppose, is nice. Then, moving on to the next section. Now, these are just spotlights. They're supposed to go up in here, but when you crash into them, or something happens, they fall down, and boom, sparks fly if you use your imagination, and the pole that holds the light up comes crashing down, which could be dangerous if you're underneath it. We're just busting this thing up. Now, you got 2 sections with the spotlights, and these are basically the same. They do the same thing. They're built almost exactly the same way. They've got the spotlights that pop off, and then the things that fall down. And also, if I can find the little clear piece that... Oh, Thor's already attached to it. You can use this to try to launch Thor up into the lights to have them break. Poor guy. He's just being used as a human cannonball. But then you take these sections off. Now this is the entrance to the arena. So you got your doors here. And yeah, that happens. But the doors have a sliding open function. And you got handles on both sides, and you go whoosh. And there's the Hulk. My friend! Oop, it closes on. So yeah, you got some nice sliding doors. They got nice handles on each side to open it up. And then on the top here you have the Grandmaster's throne up here. And it falls over real easy. And this is probably the most annoying part of it, is you've got to actually have the Grandmaster there for the weight to hold the thing up. And the idea is, you know, they're fighting and things are shaking, and oh no, he gets knocked out of his seat, and his seat falls off and gets knocked out of the seat, you know. Nothing too amazing, but kind of fun just the same, which is kind of the whole point, you know, to have fun. Actually, I think that's supposed to be on there like that. That works better. But yeah. He can stand there, or he can actually sit in the seat, but there's nothing to hold him into the seat. So when he does flip back, he's going to go flying. And then we turn it around, just so you can see it a little bit better. There's nothing really on this back side. We got, you know, some supports and stuff. Oh, I should show the backside to the lights too. Not that there's thing there. It's just really the build. You're not supposed to see that too much. Now moving on to the last section. Loki's sitting here. He has his own seat. That also does the flippy thing that can have him fall off. And then on this other side is a bit of a, I don't know, this is like supposed to be, I think, the room that they prep the guys in. And opens up, and that's it. It's a little place you can stand in. So there's not much going on with that one, unfortunately. Like I said, I think it's just supposed to be a cell to hold them in. But yeah, you get a nice little door there, opens up in a small place where you could put Thor or some other figure who's being temporarily caged. So that's that. We'll head back to the desk, give this my final thoughts and eval. Back here at the desk, give this my final thoughts and the final evaluation. So, you know, I am a bit of a hypocrite, I guess I have to admit. Because I say I like Lego sets for the build and for the interesting vehicles and stuff. And this doesn't have interesting vehicles or anything like that. It doesn't even have a whole building, it just has a wall. But I like this set because of the movie it came from. And I like it for the figures. I admit, I'm a terrible man. Because I say the figures don't matter as much. But, yes, I did. I am terrible for going back on my word. But even still, I think people shouldn't obsess over the figures. It should be more about the builds and the designs. And in this case, well, some of this we'll talk about in the final evaluation. But in this case, the wall isn't really very complex, but it's got a lot of stuff going on. So it's not a complete waste or anything, but it's also not something I'd normally be interested in. It's not a giant robot or vehicle or spaceship, or spaceships are vehicles, but you get my drift. It's not something exactly up my normal. It's essentially a play set. I just say it's a play set, and they've never been my favorite things, but I really like the characters from this and the scene that it portrays. So with that, I just want to say I'm not going to be giving this a price grade. I will talk about the price afterwards where I normally give the grade, but I'm not actually going to give it a grade. It's kind of a moot point because it's no longer available for retail. You're going to pay a lot more off the secondary market. But anyways, main evaluation. As far as appearance, despite this not being a whole thing and more like a section of the movie, almost like it's a movie set of its own, it looks really good. Now it does have a couple large stickers that are not applied. Even without those large stickers, I would say still looks pretty good, doesn't it? So most of the stickers were just some swirlies that added to the pattern that was on the inside wall, but they've built some of that into with just the colors of the bricks, and I feel that was enough. It looks good enough without that, but you could always put the stickers on either way. But either way, it looks good with or without the stickers. They just add more detail. So I ended up giving appearance a 10. I think that's definitely reasonable. Now, as far as function goes, there's a lot going on here. You got all the tipping chairs. You got some hidden doorways. You've got the opening sliding doors. You've got lights that break down, and the breaking wall, and a lot of little things that are fun, but they really aren't impressive or that interesting. They just add a attribute of fun. So I didn't really think that there was anything outstanding, and I didn't give it a 10. I gave function simply a 9. Now, as fun goes, as I was saying, there's a lot of fun functions in here, and yes, there's a lot of scenarios, story scenarios with what's going on here. I mean, you can even have this guard interrupt them for some reason. You got a lot of play interactions going on here, and I don't know about good versus bad guys, because this says based on a movie where things were a little bit more cloudier than simply good or bad. But I gave fun a 10. There's a lot to do here. There's a lot of nifty things that they built into this wall, and I'm glad they did, or this would be a really boring set. It was just a flat wall with figures in it. Then it would make this even worse set. Not that it's a bad set, but it would make it bad, for sure. So yeah, fun got a 10. Lots of fun here. The build is not complicated, and it's pretty simple and easy to build. So there's not much challenging or fun aspects to it. It just comes together really quickly. So the fun there is, it's not hard. Comes together quickly. As far as techniques, most everything here we've seen somewhere or other. There's nothing really amazing. I mean, it's great that they put the stuff in here, but there's nothing really new, innovating. Most interesting maybe are these lights, but yeah, nothing amazing. Definitely nothing bad in here. I mean, this wall falls apart, but that's on purpose. It's not a bug. It's a feature. So yeah, I gave technique a 9. Nothing good, nothing amazing, but nothing bad either. So that brings our average score and our final eval, because we are not going to do a price grade with this, is going to be, when you all add all that up, you get a 38. You divide that by 4, and you get a 9.5. And yeah, it's a decent set, and may not be everybody's cup of tea. Maybe you didn't like the movie, or just never saw the movie and just weren't interested. I could see that. But for those who like the movie like I did, this is even better than a 9.5. It's almost a 10. But now, in regards to price, I'm going to give it a grade, but when you take the original price and do the math and divide it, it was $60, $59.99. Divide that by 492 pieces, something like that. You end up with 12 cents per piece, which is a little bit on the higher side. It's not the worst, but I ended up going just a P for pass. Even just looking at it, $60 for this set, it's not there. Doesn't feel it. 50 I'd be much happier with. And the thing is, most of it's because of the Hulk here. This is probably $10 right here that they've added on to it, due to the both licensing and the larger pieces. Which there's some larger pieces in here, but Hulk himself, the big fig, is a larger piece, and that tends to jack up the price. So let me know what you guys think down below, both about the set and about the movie. I enjoyed it. It was different than the other Thor movies, but still had some, it was lighthearted, but it still had some grit to it. There was some emotional weight to what was going on and stuff like that, and I really enjoyed it. But the fun moments were definitely fun. We'll say that. I had lots of fun, and good feels too. So yeah, let me know down below in the comments. Comment down there. Please, if you're new here, give it a sub, and if you enjoyed, like it, of course. Like, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. I have Facebook and Twitter links down below that you can follow me on there, and you'll get notifications faster when these videos come out. And also, there's a Patreon down there you can check out too. It's just $1 is the maximum I have for right now, till I get more worked out with that. But you can check that out. It's not much there. But any little help you do that way helps the channel. Any help, anything you do with my video helps the channel. Just watching it helps. But also liking it, subscribing it, and doing all that good thing. And I would greatly appreciate any of it. You don't have to give me money. Just do those other things. So that's it for me here at the Creation Evaluation Station, reminding you that creativity is key.